Hello everyone and welcome back to a new lore and stories video. If you're new here, my name is Cindy and on my channel I tell stories in The Sims and help you improve your gameplay. In this video, we're leaving the suburbs of Pleasant View behind and we're heading out to the country. I'm talking about Riverblossom Hills. Riverblossom Hills is the neighborhood introduced with the Sims 2 Seasons expansion, and it has some very interesting stories. When you first load the world, all of the households are in the midst of winter, all of them except for one, that is. And that's the Greenman household, and today I'm telling you their story. It all starts in the mountains outside of Riverblossom Hills, where a secret society of naturally occurring plant sims live. These plant sim hybrids were once just the stuff of rumors and legends until the O'Mackey brothers discovered them on a hiking trip deep in the wilderness. The O'Mackey brothers, Jason and Gabe, moved to Riverblossom Hills in search of the elusive plant sims and a simpler, more nature-centered life. Jason moved to Riverblossom Hills after hearing his brother spin wonderful tales of the beautiful countryside, and a beauty he did find. Will he and his new family prosper? The story goes that one day he and Gabe were hiking in the mountains when they stumbled upon the Society of Plant Sims. Jason was smitten with one beautiful creature in particular. Her name was Rose. After visiting her society for many years, Jason fell in love with Rose and she returned his love. When they first met, Rose was still a teenager and Jason was a young adult. It took a while, but after she grew up, they started a romantic relationship. Rose couldn't stay with her people and marry a normal sim, so she left the other plant sims and returned to Riverblossom Hills with Jason so they could share a life together. Jason gave up his name and changed his lifestyle for the love of his green-skinned goddess. Despite the love that they share, will they be able to raise a happy, healthy child? Can Rose adjust to living in a town instead of the great outdoors? Jason actually took Rose's last name instead of the other way around, and that's why they're the Greenman family and not the O'Mackeys. Rose made a lot of sacrifices to be with Jason, and he appreciates how much she gave up to be with him. He appreciates it so much, in fact, that he also wants to be a plant sim himself. He wants to become one with nature, one with the plants, just like his wife Rose. Now, the player can choose not to turn Jason into a plant sim, but I believe the scenario is set up specifically to teach you about becoming a plant sim. You could always go another way and cure Rose and Daisy of being plant sims, but why the hell would you want to do that? I always turn Jason into a plant sim because that's just more fun and interesting to me. Oh my god, Mr. Humble. No, Mr. Humble, get out of here. I'm trying to make a video, damn it. The family has a large garden area outside of their house. So if you know how, it's not difficult to turn Jason into a plant sim, although it does take a long time. But Jason has to go to work to earn a living for his family first, so we'll deal with that when he gets back home. Soon after they married, Rose spawned a baby plant sim named Daisy. Daisy is also a plant sim like her mother, and plant sims don't have the same needs and motives as regular sims. Plant sims only have 3 needs: sunlight, water, and love. The Greenmans live in basically a giant greenhouse, and this helps Daisy and Rose to get the sunlight that they need at all times. They even have a giant tree growing right in their house. I really love this house. They also have a pool outside to make it easier to get water. And in the nursery, they have special greenhouse lights that we can turn on and help Daisy get her sunlight as well. They can only get sunlight from the sun and from these special greenhouse lights. Now that Jason's home from work, we can get started on his garden to turn him into a plant sim. But first, he's got to make a pit stop at the turlet. He already has the want to plant a seed, so the game is kind of leading the player towards this series of events. So let's have him go out and plant some plants. Tomatoes, strawberries, cucumber. I believe the reason why the Greenman family is currently in the spring season and not in winter like the other households is to give the player the opportunity to plant a garden and turn Jason into a plant sim like he wants. We don't have actual scripted events in Riverblossom Hills like we did in Pleasant View and Strangetown and Veronaville, but you can tell what the developers were suggesting for you when you play these households. And that is the last plant, so we're gonna let these grow grow a little bit, and we'll let Jason get some rest tonight. In order for a sim to turn into a plant sim, they have to spray plants that are infested with bugs at least 15 times. Then after that, every time they spray, there's a 10% chance that they will transform into a plant sim. So you can see that this can take quite a while, and it resets every time you leave the lot and come back. This means turning a sim into a plant sim without actually trying to do it can be pretty rare. To move the Greenman's story along for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna cheat just a little bit. And I'm gonna do that by enabling testing cheats. Then we're just gonna hold down Shift and click on the plant and choose Debug Infest with Bugs. I'm gonna do this to all of his plants, which I feel kind of bad about doing, but we gotta do what we gotta do, y'all. Sorry, I'm sabotaging your crops. I'm so sorry, Jason. I'm so sorry. No, put down your child and infest these plants with bugs. So even though it's raining, that doesn't matter. I'm gonna send him out here to spray these plants. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll just keep going till we get him up to 15. Don't get struck by lightning, Jason. That would be terrible. He actually has a want to get struck by lightning. If he got struck by lightning, that would ruin my whole video. Don't you dare. Oh no, lightning just struck. Lightning just struck the house. At least it didn't strike him. It's okay, Jason. The rain will put out the fire. No need to panic. He's all dirty and filthy from being out in the rain. Okay, we are not done. Infest. Infest. All right, that was number 15. He's been out here for like 5 hours this morning spraying bugs. I'm gonna go take care of his needs, and then we're gonna come back and keep going. Yes, spray those dirty cucumbers. Okay, it's happening. It's happening, finally. He is becoming a plant sim. So your sim will start to cough, there will be a cloud of pesticide, and then boom, he is a plant sim now. It only took me about 2 days of constantly spraying, but I did have to cheat. Now Jason is a plant sim, and he can join his wife and daughter in their simple, very simple life, soaking up the sunshine, soaking in the water, and thriving on love. You still got your sideburns there, Jason. I'm not sure how well he's adapting to being a plant sim at this time. There we go. Yeah, he still has his sideburns. I don't know if you can get rid of those. It looks pretty ridiculous. Now, he has the ability to grow his own plant baby if that's something he wants to do in the future to expand their family. Right now, I think he's happy just being a plant sim. Let's have Rose come in and greet him. She wants to flirt. She's always wanting to flirt with him. She's really, like, smitten with him. Yes, look, your husband is now a plant sim too, and she appreciates his sacrifice very much, I'm sure. Oh, here comes little Daisy. Little Daisy's joining in with the family too. Aw, they're adorable. Now, the second part of this household is Jason's brother, Gabe O'Mackey, who we talked about earlier. He was with him when they discovered the plant sims. But unlike his brother, Gabe did not fall in love with a plant. No, instead he married a normal sim, who then left him to become a dread pirate. No, I'm not kidding. After his wife left to become a dread pirate, it took Gabe a long time to trust again. Is his relationship with Patricia meant to last? Will Patricia and Jules be able to work out their problems and realize how similar they really are? You can see the family resemblance between Gabe and Jason. Gabe is a lovable nerd who's in love with Patricia Wan. He's a teacher at the local high school and is oblivious to the conflict between his daughter and Patricia. And you know he's a lovable nerd because look at him, thinking about knowledge. Now, when you start playing this household, he will have a locked-in want for Jules to get an A+ on her report card. It's really important to him that Jules does well in school. He also has a wish to become a plant sim, and I think he rolled that because his brother became one too, and now he's jealous. He can't have his brother being the talk of the town. Oh no. We're not going to pursue that part of the story because that's not part of the actual game lore. But that is a neat side story you could follow if you were playing. So Gabe has been around the block in Riverblossom Hills. He has been married and divorced and is now dating again. Let's talk about his ex-wife. Gabe was first married to Alexandra O'Mackey. She can be found in the sim bin in Riverblossom Hills, ready for the player to move her in and continue the story. Alexandra succumbed to the call of the sea and left her family to pursue her dream. Will living the dread pirate life be enough to keep her afloat? Alexandra is an adventurer. She is literally in the adventurer career and she is actually a dread pirate. That is her job title. She makes quite a bit of money adventuring, and she's enjoyed her lifestyle very much. She could not handle being tied down to a family, so that's why she left to pursue her career in adventuring. And in fact, in her memories, Alexandra never fell in love with Jason. She never actually loved him. It was just a one-sided relationship. We can see here that she broke up with him and lost him as a best friend and moved out on her own. She felt that it was best if she left and gave Gabe the opportunity to find true happiness, since she knew she could never love him. I don't know why she also left her daughter behind, except for the fact that she just knew that she couldn't handle caring for a child. It just wasn't for her. So when you play Alexandra, she's actually in possession of quite a few valuable collectibles, presumably that she got while she was adventuring. She has the Tiki Idol, which is a huge sculpture. She's got the ancient transport urn sculpture, the little Tiki idol. She's got the little jug of wishes, and finally the 12th century Song Dynasty sculpted vase. If she's low on money, she could always sell some of this stuff, but in my opinion, Alexandra would want to hold on to these things because they're like prizes for her. They're like the proof that she's a successful adventurer, and she's going to want to put these in her house and show them off. But she always has them as insurance if things don't go so well in her life later on. I hope you're writing about how sorry you are to your child that you left behind, Alexandra. When I place her down in Riverblossom Hills, in my head, it's because she's ready to have sort of a more stable kind of home base so that she can establish a relationship with her daughter. She's not necessarily ready to settle down. She's still going to go out and do her pirating. She's going to be a pirate, okay? But she does want to have some kind of relationship with her daughter, and that means she needs a home. She needs somewhere that they can set up meetings and be together and hang out and stuff. You see, Gabe is raising their daughter Jules alone as a single father. Once he got over the heartbreak of losing Alexandra, he moved on and started dating Patricia Wan. He's actually head over heels for Patricia, but he doesn't even realize that his daughter hates Patricia. They're not enemies, but they do have a very negative relationship. See, Jules resents Patricia and thinks that she's trying to take the place of her mother. Patricia's not actually trying to do that, but Jules is young and naive and she doesn't understand her father's relationship. Patricia lives just right around the corner from Gabe with her roommate Cleo. Patricia and Cleo moved to town when Cleo's Aunt Catherine offered Cleo her old home, which they just finished remodeling. Will they find excitement in this quiet town after the dust has cleared? Will Patricia and Gabe make a life together? So they have a very cliche kind of story, at least for the Sims, of inheriting an aunt's old home and moving to town, and that's the reason why they're here. But at least they have a story. If you didn't know this, there were several families in Riverblossom Hills that are supposedly modeled after the Pleasant View families, such as the Roths being modeled after the Goths, and the Wan family here is supposedly modeled after the Caliente sisters. Although these two Sims do have some similarities to the Caliente family, they also have a lot of differences. First of all, they're not sisters, they are just roommates and friends. Cleo is a fortune sim, just like Dina, and she wants to earn some money when you first start playing the family. Patricia, on the other hand, is a popularity sim. She is not romance. She does have some similarities to Nina, such as they're both currently in a relationship when you start the game, and they both have popularity tendencies. I don't believe that they are supposed to be a copy of Nina and Dina just because they are two females living alone. I think maybe they were just inspired by the households, but that's up to you, however you want to perceive it. When you first start playing the game, Cleo wants to earn some money because of course she's a fortune sim. She wants to earn hundreds of millions, and she currently works as a studio musician. She is very, very good at music. When you first start playing Patricia, she wants to gain a creativity skill point, which I'm trying to have her go play the piano, but Cleo is hogging it over here. She will not get off. Get up, Cleo. Get up. Other people need to use the piano, okay? Now, I'm trying to get Patricia to play the piano so we can work on her creativity skill point, and that will let you know that her hobby is music and dance. So I really like this because I feel like Cleo can kind of like guide her and help her learning music. I am ignoring that welcome wagon because we are not playing that right now. But I feel like Cleo could kind of help her out and kind of help her on her way with her music hobby, since Cleo's already very talented at music. So there are a lot of different ways that you can go with this family. You better get to work, honey. Of course, since Patricia is involved with Gabe, and that is a big part of her story, you can have her move in with him, marry him, or just have them live apart and continue dating. And of course, you have Jules to contend with because Patricia and Jules do not get along. Get out of here, old people. Trying to make a video here. So Patricia's bio says Patricia moved to town with Cleo to find a great story, not love. Will the love she found with Gabe last, or will his daughter cause them problems? So Patricia is worried about Jules getting all up in her business and getting in between her and Gabe. So there could be a lot of potential for drama in that story. Jules and her father are pretty close, but they haven't had the greatest relationship since Jules became a teenager. Jules loves her dad, but wishes he didn't have to teach at her high school. She dreams of being a journalist someday and is thinking of writing a story following the life of Daisy Greenman. She's a typical teenager and she's at the age where her parents are embarrassing to her. She's trying to find herself and her own independence. When you first start playing the household, Jules has a locked-in want to get a job in the journalism career, as her bio suggests. She also wants to get a car, which also points towards her want to gain independence and get out on her own, kind of away from her dad. Well, there was no job in the journalism career today, so I guess we'll have to keep looking. Jules is very interested in her aunt by marriage, Rose, and her daughter, Daisy. She believes she has the inside knowledge that could make a very compelling story someday. Not only would she be famous for her investigative journalism, but she could also introduce the world to the beautiful and gentle plant people. She hasn't yet stopped to think about how the plant sims might feel about that, so maybe that will occur to her eventually. So Jules also has her own little teenage drama going on. She used to be dating Jacob Martin, who she remains friends with. But Jason has since moved on to another girl in town, Sandra Roth, and Jules hates Sandra. In fact, they are actual enemies. She hates her so much that if the two of them are around each other, a fight might break out. I think Jules still wants to date Jacob, but he just sees her as a friend. He had the hots for Sandra, probably even while he was dating Jules, and he dumped her the moment he thought he had a chance for the prettier, more popular girl down the street. Ah, young love. So simple, yet so complex. So the player can choose which way to go with this. I usually don't try to get her back with Jacob because I feel like he has friend zoned her. So I will wait and have her find a nice townie to date, or even wait until she goes off to college. She's a smart girl. She's going to do well in school, and she's going to succeed in life, and she's going to find somebody better than Jacob. Someday she's going to look back on this relationship and say, what was I thinking? As far as Gabe and Patricia go, I usually do have them get married because they both love each other, and eventually one of them usually rolls the want to get married. She's a popularity sim, so sometimes they don't. Wow, you are really gobbling down those chips, aren't you? If they do want to get married, then I will have them move in together, even though Jules doesn't like it. But she's going off to college soon. She's got 12 days until she's a young adult, so she's going to be out on her own, and then her dad won't be alone and will have his partner, Patricia. But you could go either way with that. You could keep them living apart until Jules moved out if you wanted to do that. Maybe he would be more considerate of Jules' feelings. Maybe he will eventually realize that she doesn't like Patricia and not move this strange woman into their home. But that's up to you, and it's up to Gabe. The Greenmans have ties to many different families in Riverblossom Hills, as you can see, but I think what makes them so interesting is how Jason and Gabe discovered the plant sims in the mountains, and then how Jason fell in love with Rose and convinced her to come back to Riverblossom Hills with him, and then he wants to become a plant sim for her and for himself too. In my playthroughs, they typically live a long, happy plant sim life together. So what do you think about the Greenman family? Have you ever played them? And if so, do you play these families the same way I do, or do you go a different way? Leave a comment down below and let me know. I would love to hear from you and your experiences in Riverblossom Hills. Also, let me know if there are any other family stories you would like to see me explore in The Sims 2. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and visit my website at PlantSims.com for my recommended mods list, gameplay guides, and all things Sims. My name is Cindy, and I will see you with a new video very soon. Thank you so much for watching.